Our artist today is Basquiat. Basquiat. His full name is Jean-Michel Basquiat. Jean-Michel Basquiat, but you could just put Basquiat. Time period is 1980s. 1980s, specifically early 1980s. He was a prevalent artist in New York. He had this basically troubled young life. He had his mom was committed to an not insane asylum, but mental institution. She went in and out of that most of her life. He lived with his father. One of his siblings passed away before he was born. He didn't care for school. He dropped out quite a few times. He ran away and lived in Central Park in New York. I shouldn't say Central Park. There was another square there that he lived. Cops picked him up, brought him back to his dad. Once he dropped out of high school, though, his dad disowned him. And Basquiat actually joined this kind of an alternative school for dropouts, but it was an art-based school. And all of a sudden, he became pretty good there. And so his life was pretty turmoil. But all of a sudden, he went from homeless to his painting selling for thousands of dollars within a few years. And so he pretty much made it in a short time span. Here is him. He is African American. This is our first African American artist. And he really busted the mold. There was kind of this thing where if you weren't a white male, you weren't going to make it. And he really busted through the scenes in New York and really broke down a lot of those barriers. Here is some of his art piece. It's edgy. It's out there. If you look, there's a lot of different stuff going on in here. Details. You might even be able to see his angst, the way he grew up. This one's title is Skull. This actually just sold this year, and it is the highest selling artwork by an American artist. And so it actually sold for $110 million, which is insane. And so his stuff is going off the market, or going off like no other. People are buying his stuff like no other right now. If we really look at this, I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on where you might see small details. You see the hair, the satin eyes. It almost looks like a skull. If you really look at the backside of his head, someone said it looked like a tumor. It almost looks like that it might be buildings in the head as well. Just real edgy stuff. Some people were commenting maybe this is about his life, about how the trouble he's gone through is really reflected in this art piece. And so this is the skull, one of his more famous pieces. But we can really see that he uses different mediums, paints, doodles, ink, whatever it is to create art. It's very edgy, very colorful at times as well. Yes, that is a dog. And so what I want you guys to write down for the most important information. His pieces dealt with poverty and racism. His pieces dealt with poverty and racism. Pieces dealt with poverty and racism. He was trying to confront what was going on with poor America as well as urban life with African Americans not getting their due justice. And so he was really dealing with those issues through his art. His style is abstract figuratism. Abstract figuratism. Abstract figuratism. It's spelled up on the board. Abstract figuratism. Abstract figuratism. Here is the image that we are going to show you. The way we like to remember it is there's a dog down there. He is being trained. And so the trainer has in his hand a biscuit or a biscuit or Basquiat, a Basquiat. So this is Basquiat or a Basquiat.